The Shield remains one of the most dominant and beloved factions in WWE history, and fans continue to clamor for a reunion years after their dissolution. The faction, consisting of Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose, now Jon Moxley in AEW, made an indelible mark on WWE's landscape, redefining what it meant to be a faction in modern professional wrestling. Their influence extended far beyond their initial run, shaping the careers of each individual member and leaving a lasting impression on the WWE Universe. The yearning for their return is driven by a multitude of reasons, from nostalgia to the current state of WWE's storytelling to the unique chemistry they brought to the ring. Nostalgia is a powerful force in professional wrestling, and the Shield encapsulates an era that many fans hold dear. Their rise in 2012 came at a time when WWE was shifting towards a new generation of talent, and their impact was immediate. Their initial run was marked by high-intensity matches, strong storytelling, and a sense of unpredictability that kept fans engaged. The manner in which they debuted, taking out high-profile stars like John Cena and Ryback, instantly positioned them as a dominant force. Their signature tactical gear, their entrance through the crowd, and their no-nonsense attitude made them stand out from other factions before them. Each member of the Shield brought something unique to the table, and their synergy was undeniable. Roman Reigns was the powerhouse, known for his brute strength and ability to change the tide of any match with his devastating spear. Seth Rollins was the high flyer and the architect, known for his strategic mind and innovative in-ring ability. Dean Ambrose was the unpredictable brawler, adding an element of chaos to the faction's matches. Together, they formed a trio that felt unstoppable, and their chemistry was something WWE has struggled to replicate in other factions since. Another key reason why fans still want the Shield back is because of the evolution of its members and the paths they have taken since the faction dissolved. Roman Reigns has become WWE's top star as the tribal chief. Seth Rollins has established himself as a main event caliber performer, and Jon Moxley has reinvented himself in AEW as a hardcore icon. While each member has found success individually, there remains a lingering curiosity about what would happen if they reunited now, with all their experience and growth. The idea of seeing them together again, but with their evolved personas, is an intriguing prospect. The Shield was also known for its ability to elevate every feud they were involved in. Their matches against teams like Evolution, the Wyatt family, and The Authority were some of the best of the era, and fans remember these feuds fondly. Bringing them back could reinvigorate WWE's current tag team and faction-based storytelling, which has sometimes felt lackluster compared to the Shield's golden years. A reunion could also serve as a way to introduce new rivalries, particularly with the rise of factions like Judgment Day, the Bloodline, and Imperium. Another reason for the continued desire to see the Shield back is WWE's history of capitalizing on nostalgia acts. Groups like DX, the NWO, and Evolution have had multiple reunions over the years, and the Shield remains one of WWE's most marketable factions. Every time they have briefly reunited in the past, whether in 2017 or 2018, the reaction has been overwhelmingly positive. Merchandise sales spike, ratings improve, and the energy in the arenas is palpable. WWE is well aware of this, and fans know that a well-executed Shield reunion would be both a financial and entertainment success. The Shield also represents an era of WWE storytelling that many fans miss. In recent years, some storylines have felt repetitive or uninspired, leading fans to long for the days when the Shield's presence guaranteed compelling narratives. Their original run wasn't just about dominance, it was about rebellion, unpredictability, and storytelling that felt organic. They disrupted the status quo in a way that many modern factions struggle to achieve, in an era where WWE sometimes relies on established stars rather than building new ones. Bringing back the Shield, even temporarily, could inject a fresh sense of excitement into the product. The Shield's breakups and reunions have also played a part in why fans still hope for their return. Their initial split in 2014, when Seth Rollins betrayed the group, remains one of the most shocking moments in WWE history. The eventual teases of reunions, and the brief times they did come back together, kept the idea alive. However, those reunions were often cut short due to injuries or external circumstances, leaving fans feeling like they never got a proper final run. This unresolved feeling has only fueled the desire for one last reunion. Another factor to consider is WWE's handling of Roman Reigns. While he is currently at the peak of his career as the tribal chief, there is an ongoing debate about whether he needs a fresh challenge. The Shield returning, even if only to oppose the Bloodline, could create a compelling dynamic. Seth Rollins and Jon Moxley returning to remind Roman of his origins, potentially leading to a storyline of redemption or conflict would be a fascinating arc. It would also allow for WWE to explore the idea of Roman having to choose between his past and his present allegiances. Fans also miss the energy the Shield brought to their matches. Their signature six-man tag matches were often some of the most exciting on any given card. The Shield had a way of making every match feel like a main event, regardless of where it was placed on the show. Their ability to tell a story in the ring, using their individual strengths in a seamless way, was unmatched. The fast-paced, hard-hitting nature of their matches was a style that fans appreciated, and it's something WWE has struggled to replicate with other factions. Another reason why the Shield's return remains in high demand is because of the current landscape of professional wrestling. With AEW thriving and WWE continuing to look for ways to maintain its dominance, a Shield reunion would be a statement moment. It would not only generate massive buzz, but also solidify WWE's ability to create moments that resonate beyond just their weekly programming. In an era where dream matches and crossover appeal are more relevant than ever, the Shield's return could be one of WWE's biggest talking points. Even though Jon Moxley is currently signed with AEW, the possibility of a one-night return isn't impossible. WWE has made deals in the past to allow cross-promotional moments, and Moxley has spoken about his love for what the Shield meant to his career. Moxley has expressed his frustration with scripted promos and WWE's overall structure, while Rollins has evolved into a character that thrives on individuality rather than being part of a faction. Reigns, meanwhile, has embraced his current persona so fully that anything resembling his old Shield character would feel like a step backward. The evolution of wrestling fans' expectations is another important factor. While nostalgia is powerful, fans today are more invested in long-term storytelling and realistic character development. Bringing the Shield back just for the sake of it would likely lead to criticism that WWE is relying too much on the past instead of pushing new talent. The Shield was built on a foundation of rebellion, unity, and dominance, but the current WWE landscape doesn't have a need for that type of faction. WWE has already invested heavily in the Bloodline, Judgment Day, and Imperium as their dominant factions. A Shield return would overshadow these groups, making their current stories less impactful. There's also the matter of how the Shield operated. Their signature look, tactical gear, and entrance through the crowd all played into their mystique. However, WWE has since evolved stylistically, with more focus on character-driven storytelling rather than presenting groups as destructive forces. Reintroducing those elements now might not resonate the same way with modern audiences. Moreover, from a business perspective, WWE likely sees more value in keeping Reigns and Rollins as individual megastars, rather than placing them back in a group setting. The Shield worked when all three men were on the rise, but with Reigns and Rollins already at the top, there is little incentive to revisit the past. Another major obstacle is that WWE and AEW are direct competitors. Jon Moxley is one of AEW's biggest names, and a return to WWE would be seen as a major shift in the wrestling world. While surprises do happen in wrestling, Moxley has made it clear that he is happy in AEW. A Shield reunion would only be possible if Moxley left AEW, and there are currently no signs of that happening. A significant reason why the Shield can't reunite is also tied to the emotional weight of their past. Their breakup in 2014, orchestrated by Seth Rollins, was one of WWE's most shocking moments. Their story has already been told in full. Reuniting them would feel like retreading old ground rather than progressing their legacies. Another issue is the nature of wrestling's cyclical storytelling. WWE often revisits past gimmicks, but factions like the Shield were unique to a particular era. Just like DX and the NWO were products of their time, the Shield represented an era of WWE that has since evolved. While callbacks and tributes can be effective, full reunions rarely work long-term because they fail to capture the same magic as before. The Shield also benefited from its original mystery and unpredictability. Their initial run saw them take on top superstars and disrupt WWE's status quo. Now, however, there isn't the same element of surprise. Any reunion would be met with high expectations that could be difficult to meet. Ultimately, the Shield's legacy is one of dominance, storytelling, and evolution. They weren't just another faction, they were a movement. Their impact on WWE, their undeniable chemistry, and their ability to make every storyline feel important are reasons why fans continue to push for their return. While it may never happen in the exact way people envision, the demand remains strong because the Shield represents something special, something WWE fans still yearn to see one more time.